I don't want you to think what could have been. I want you to think and realize your potential. That's something I want to talk about today. See, I feel one of the most integral things to young guys and guys in general is the idea of discipline. See, I feel discipline is something that we can all be accountable to and should strive to get better at as men. And I feel from looking around a lot lately, it seems to be there's more of a separation of those who are disciplined and those who are not, that are either my age group or slightly older than me. And it kind of shows through in a number of aspects. I'm not trying to judge anyone, far from it, but I'm just making note that discipline is something that is really interesting that I want to kind of touch about today and why you need it and how it can help you. I'm Salvatore, a 9 to 5 office worker, someone who still seems to be one of the only ones that wears a suit with a tie, who likes to sip espresso, who likes to lace up his running shoes and cross the finish line faster than he ever thought possible and imaginable, someone who likes to commute on his bike to save time, money, and just conquer mountains literally and figuratively as well, someone that loves actually to cook plant-based food, someone who likes to enjoy really good food and food adventures and adventures in the light with his girlfriend as we both conquer mountains together, someone who is simply a doer, a sharer, a thinker of stories to inspire young men to take action and to conquer their own mountains and conquer life in the process every day. So I've kind of touched upon discipline, and I kind of want to start with where you should start with, step one. So I guess what I'd like to share or have you resonate with the most is that if you're not sure where to start or why you should even start, you need to start with fitness as the base. And it's something that I've really seen a lot of benefit in having that as something just to simply start chugging away at and chipping away. But of course, even though I say it's fitness related, it should also be somewhat aligned to your interest. For example, for me, I live in Adelaide, one of the best places, or if not the best place, to really build fitness from a running perspective in terms of endurance and speed, as well as becoming an exceptional cyclist because of how great it is to cycle here and how clean the air is, how great just being in this place is, the food, everything. So for me, that's kind of what I've tried to align my discipline to, the idea of getting better at cycling, but more recently in the last 2 years, really concentrating on that running aspect and seeing how far I can push that. So if you were, for example, to be someone that lives in a colder climate where you can't really go outside to train, you might find more benefit in having a goal for fitness more aligned to that of going to the gym, which is also something great and that I'd recommend. But I guess why I'm trying to say that fitness is important is because any man can start with their own body, and everyone has a body, and in some extent you should be able to build your fitness in some way, shape or form. Which then takes me to my next point about why fitness is important. I feel will show a lot quicker, and you'll kind of be able to have some tangible benefits in terms of seeing you begin to progress along a journey. And that's important. As time progresses, it helps to build consistency, but also helps to see that you are on the right path and that you are genuinely getting better. It's something that you believe in and that you can continue to push and push and push. See, like if you go to the gym and say you did nothing and then you went to the gym and you were able to go to the gym, say 3 times a week, over the course of a year, you follow a pretty good program, you're likely to make some very good newbie gains, which is, a great amount of muscle is going to come in the first part of your journey. And having that is going to inspire you to want to keep going. Obviously, your gains over time will diminish, but the point is it will help you build that discipline to transition that into other parts of life, which I'll touch upon soon. But I guess why fitness and how you can kind of leverage seeing those results. If you go to the gym, you should be tracking your lifts. You should be able to see that you started with no weights on the barbell and then you eventually scaled your way up. or you put more reps in. And for running, for example, you can see that you did more runs, you ran faster, you ran longer, you did faster workouts faster, you did slower workouts faster. Like everything improved, right? And the thing that I'd recommend if you are looking to run and start your running journey is simply to have a Strava account. You can follow me, and each other kudos, I can see your runs, and it's really inspiring. It's accountable because you can see your very first run and it serves as a timestamp to say, here's your progress. Here's where you're at, but it's not forever. And you can trace back to it and say, hey, after so many runs, you've got proof. And then you can say, this is where I was, this is where I'm getting to. Whereas if you kind of thought, what's the point of tracking my runs? I'm really slow. I understand that. But if you really are of that mentality, you don't want anyone to see you running, that's fine. You can just simply have a Strava and not follow anyone and keep your stuff private, which is great as well. So it just becomes like a journal, if you will. And everyone's got a phone, so Strava is an app for your phone, which is free. So it kind of links in that way. You don't need Strava Premium. You can get it if you really want it. I have used Strava since 2015 and still don't have Premium. I probably should get it, but you don't need it. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is important because if we're picking fitness, we'll be able to track that fitness and see how it's progressing, and that will inspire you to keep going. Consistency. So it kind of helps to cement and see yourself in terms of the long run, how much more consistent you are, and kind of giving you that kind of, I guess, bird's eye view perspective. See, for me, I did really not much running at all in 2022. 2023, I thought I did really, really well, but I was still frustrated in terms of, finishing the year somewhat potentially being injured, but also being like, I could have ran more. But here we are now in 2024. I've had some situations where I haven't really been able to run because work's got in the way. I've just been really busy. But with that being said, I checked on Strava and saw that in 2023, I'd done 85 runs. But now, as of the 7th of October, or 6th, is it? I have done 78, which kind of puts me, if my math is right, 7 runs until I do more than the year before. So even though you might think you might not run every day, or some week you might head off because you're sick, or you got this, or you got work, and you just get busy, life gets in the way, it helps to frame in your mind that consistency is a muscle, and like discipline, it has to be built over time, and you have to understand it's not going to be, you shouldn't beat yourself up to say, hey, if I can't run 7 days a week, what's the point? You need to have more measured and long-term thinking in terms of how disciplined, while I'm saying it's good for you, you need to be able to understand and have a long-term view of this, because it's going to be more beneficial to your mentality than kind of being like, well, what's the point? So that's kind of like why tracking it allows you to leverage that information to really see, well, am I getting faster? Have I done more runs? Has my distance increased? All these metrics can kind of help you to say, hey, I'm on the right path and I should keep going. When it makes you feel like, I think for me personally, I had this mentality for a while that was quite destructive to say, if I mess something up, I want to mess everything up. And that's not really that great, because it's kind of like a big tantrum thing. If you just simply pulled yourself up, got back to it, and said, okay, well, I did this, no problem. I didn't run for a week. It happens. Let's get back to it. Opposed to being whiny about it, taking longer to get back, like, just accept it and then move on. Like, it's not the end of the world. And I've done videos on it where I've said, like, the feeling of overcoming that initial fear is nothing compared to the experience and the joys of what you get from running. So it's kind of like that, like, relax, play some music, get back into it. You do it, you can do it. And I guess this kind of coincides with the fourth point. By having the fitness, having a way to document it, having a way to build that consistency, over time, you'll start to realize how quickly your progress will come into play. And what I mean by that is you'll start to really distinguish yourself from the average, and you'll start to see how much, not necessarily better, but where the average is and how easy it is to exceed that in today's age. Like, if I was to give you an example, if I was to do a 5K park run, even the fastest park runs in the world, the average of those park runs is still 26 minutes or 25 minutes. Even in my city, I think it's Adelaide, the fastest one, the Weir is 25 minutes, I can run a 5K much, much quicker than that. And I don't even think I'm at my peak yet. So that's kind of pretty inspiring. So it kind of helps to reframe. But I guess what I'm trying to get with that is you get to a point where you've conquered the mountain enough, you can actually reflect on your journey and kind of synthesize it in a way that can be beneficial to others and inspire them, because you might have a way of thinking that not a lot of people do. So you might be able to resonate with someone that is more closer to kind of where you were starting out, kind of like what I'm trying to do. We talk about like video games, going from someone who used to play a lot of video games, watch a lot of anime, to explain how you can kind of have those feelings come back and have a better life quality overall by doing these little clever things and having this and building a discipline and building consistency, conquering mountains and so many other aspects is what I'm trying to get at. But I guess what I've done is I've taken my 6 or 7 years worth of commuting and simply on the bike, use it for training, save money, go to the groceries, go to my jobs, go to part-time jobs, like to simply distill that into a guide, giving someone that had no idea what a bike is, everything they need to know in terms of what bike to get, how much to pay, how to save lots of money, what the essentials, bike, helmet, lock, lights, then also the first ride to do, the training to do on the bike, how to fuel, hydrate on the bike, what you need to take on a ride, understanding the nutritional requirements off the bike, how to recover properly, how to clean your bike, these big phases and, a conclusion and case studies that kind of crystallizes all my points in terms of how you can use a bike to commute to work every day, build that consistency on a daily basis and over time have that compound is really, really important. And I guess that's where I was able to take the next step and really create the ebook, which I'll touch upon at the end of this video if you're interested, and I feel it will help you to get to that next level, to say that you actually can create something tangible or intangible, it's a digital product, to help and inspire others, even though you thought you could never do it initially. And that's kind of why fitness is something really cool to start with, because anyone can start with it. And I guess leading to my next point, if you kind of get to that certain level of setting yourself apart from the average and having something to share in your journey, how you got better, you will probably start to have one of two things happen. You'll start to kind of polarize your friends around you or those close to you, who will either A, think what you're doing is stupid, or B, kind of think you're ridiculous for running so much, cycling so much, eating the way you eat. But it's probably better that you polarize those people, because you kind of start to see what I'm kind of sharing about the discipline or kind of the mentality, that those people kind of aren't really at the stage on their journey to understand what you're going through and kind of see the benefit of what you're trying to achieve. But the better side I see of that is you'll just reduce your time with those people. But the benefit is that you will actually gain better relationships with those that respect those values that you've incorporated and the discipline that you've adopted. So those people will be really inspired by your journey. There'll be some that are ahead of you on that journey. You can learn from them, or they'll be a little bit behind you and they'll want to learn from you. So they'll ask you these questions and you can serve as that lighthouse, that guiding light to help others really conquer their own mountains and conquer life through what you've done through your own training and fitness journey, which is something really cool that we're kind of able to leverage through going through the motions and building that discipline, consistency, and over time, having the benefits and seeing that progress being made, because it inspires you to come back day a day again. And that's kind of really cool to kind of have that come full circle where you're someone who can kind of help others and inspire others to do better. And, seeing that is amazing to see kind of my girlfriend want to ride a bike and, go from someone that has not really ridden a bike before in a commuting sense to falling in love with it and just really enjoying that process. Seeing others close by to me pick up running and just really going for it. Seeing, me and my girlfriend crossing the finish line faster than we ever thought possible from 12 months ago. Just kind of keep building on that, and it's really something magical to have for your community and those close by. Is a real service to add, opposed to kind of being someone that I used to be, who's quite introverted, being in his room, playing video games, watching anime. It's not really helping society at large, but I kind of didn't have anything to help people in society with. So I kind of had to go through that own journey myself, and I feel discipline was an integral part of that. And I guess on that point, the polarization is that what I didn't realize is you actually have the universe help you in what you're trying to achieve, because you'll resonate with the right people that want to help you. So what I mean by that is, leading up to the city debate in September, sometime in May, June, someone approached me in my organization saying, hey, I'd really like for you to be part of our running race, our team. Here's what we do. It's a seven round corporate cup, and we do a 4.5K run every fortnight. And, we try to improve and get faster. To be at the point where someone reaches out to you for that, at the culmination of kind of everything I've said before in discipline, is something immensely satisfying, because I didn't ask for it and didn't think that could happen, or even realize what the corporate cup represented. Is such a amazing experience to have. And being someone that was on team sports, that never really did that great as a kid, from like playing soccer as a team, to being able to be considered the fastest runner on the team, and someone that people look up to on that team, that can inspire them and tell them well done and what else you can potentially do next time round, and like really genuinely care for people in the team to make them push themselves, is something quite magical. It's the community building effect. And to see that those in the team, right, are as excited as I am to not only train for running, like just doing runs, but to do faster runs, to do interval runs, to introduce a tempo run, to do long runs, to do all the things that I kind of talk about and inspire upon them, to see them do that to get better for themselves, is something amazing. And to kind of realize that this team was put together in a last minute fashion, there is a real chance that we can actually become the fourth fastest team overall. We're not too far from that position. I like to give you context that the first two fastest teams are the Fireys, the A team and their B team, and then there's the third place, which is our organization's A team, and then that leaves us, the B team. We're currently fifth, but I think we have what it takes to get to the fourth position. Particularly if there's two more rounds left, then I think I can go a lot faster, and the whole team as well, from all their training, can go faster too. So it's really kind of cool to kind of see that, and I guess, get to a point where I'm able to do and also for myself, point about the averages and getting fast and building consistency. If I am currently 17 minutes and 26 seconds for the corporate cup, this is based on the Strava segment, not kind of what the thing shows, because that's exactly the distance on the Strava. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, if I can get into the high 16-minute mark, i.e. sub 17 minutes, I will cement myself in the top 10 position for the fastest 4.5K runners, that are basically people that work a 9-to-5 job. And that's something immensely satisfying, considering I didn't even know what this event was at the beginning of this year. I had never done this race before, and I didn't even know how to have a team for this. It's an amazing testament to how far your discipline really can take you, and how it can really aid you in your journey, and really come full circle, where you're putting all the effort in and you build so much momentum, the snowball continues, and then you just are going downhill, and you're conquering life, and everything sets up to help you and inspire you to keep pushing and go further and inspire others. So I guess to conclude, we've kind of got the idea to take you through everything again. So fitness is probably the best thing to start with for discipline, because it's something you can see. Of course, align it to your interest. You should start documenting that as soon as you can, and something like Strava, or tracking on a piece of paper or a note on your phone, your lifts, is important, because you want to be able to see that progress from day one to day 100, day 200. Understanding that consistency is a long view, it's a long game. Being patient with yourself is something really important. To see that you will inspire others, and you can actually crystallize what you've learned to kind of further help others, and then having that kind of resonate and potentially polarize people, the universe will come full circle and help you with what you're trying to achieve in what you're being disciplined. So the discipline has obviously become enjoyable at that point, but it's kind of like so automatic that the discipline almost fades away. It's just who you are and your brand. And then kind of gets to, yeah, the idea of, joining a running team or something like that, being on a team and being invited and being, the best on the team or whatever. And then that kind of gets to the conclusion about how the discipline is probably one of the most important things, I think, to really conquer the mountain and conquer life, especially in terms of a physical point of view. If you really want to conquer the mountains and conquer the life, like I say, literally, I've got a product that is linked in the description below. It's an ebook. It's called Life Cycles, My Guide to Fitness Mastery. It's 162 pages. It'll take you 3 hours to read. It's jam-packed full of value. You have tips that save you thousands of dollars on what bike to buy, giving you the exact knowledge that I had transplanted in your brain. So when you're looking for a bike, you know exactly what to say, what to ask, what to get, how to size it appropriately for you. The biking essentials you need: helmet, lights, lock. The other part that is important is everything from your first ride to the training on the ride, how to build your training, how to get better on your training, how to fuel on the bike, everything off the bike from nutrition, cross training, recovery, and then also cleaning your bike, and then a case study where I basically show you how to build that discipline and consistency of, say, riding a bike to work if you work a corporate job or you work a job that's very commutable. And I'm really proud to make this because it's a crystallization of 6-7 years worth of my learnings and experience that I think will really serve to better your life and inspire you. Because like I'm saying, if you want something to start with and you something to really bite your teeth into, then I think getting a bike, using it as a tool for freedom, fitness, weight loss, to get your fitness to another level in a method a bit safer than, say, running due to risk of injury and whatnot, that is really the product for you. So that's kind of what I'm proud of. Eventually I want to do something about running, but for now I've got something on cycling that I think you'll really find joy and value in. So conquer mountains, conquer life. Thank you.